bring your writer's notebook and your folder and sit with your writing partner, please. All right, writers. So we've been working really hard on our persuasive essays, and one thing that you've learned how to do is kind of how to structure it, right? We've been using this whole idea of boxes and bullets to get a big idea with some supporting ideas underneath it. So you've kind of built that outside of the structure, like when Westgate was being remodeled and you watched from the outside, right, getting built up. And then we were all anxious about, well, what's going to be on the inside? And today we're going to start talking about that inside of the writing and the inside of your reasons. Okay. We've been reading argument and advocacy types of texts in the past, and we were noticing how the writer would actually give us some hard evidence, whether it was in the form of a little story from their life, whether it was a statistic or a fact, right? Whether it was a quote from someone who knew a lot about that topic, because that kind of made their argument stronger. So as writers, we want to figure out what types of evidence might we provide our reader to make our argument stronger. Today I'm going to share with you where I am in my writing. And the topic I had chosen that I felt very passionate about was elementary schools should offer band, strings, and chorus. And within that, you'll remember, I had three reasons, right? I'm going to place them over here. One is that it can teach perseverance, right? Another is that music and playing music together can bond people together, and sometimes for a long time. And finally, playing music can give students a creative outlet in elementary school, especially. So today, I'm going to talk about how writers collect these mini stories to make their point even more clear. So I'm going to take one of my bullets, and today I'm going to choose the one about how playing music in elementary schools can bond people together. And I'm going to jot down some possibilities for my story. All right, so here's what I'm thinking. And I'm not going to do this writing in front of you today. I'm just going to share with you what I already have done. So here's what I'm thinking. First of all, I have this very dear friend, Jennifer Sharp, and we were neighbors, but we really got closer because we both played violin and in our elementary school. So every week, we would get together and play. And then at home, we could also play our violins together as well. We also played basketball and army and other kinds of stuff too, but we got together and played violin. And over time, our relationship deepened and deepened, and we ended up not only playing our first duet in public together in 5th grade, but as seniors in high school, we played our final senior recital together. And even today, we're still friends through Facebook and things where we keep in touch, right? But that happened because we had the chance to play together in elementary school. So that's one thing I could write about, okay? Another one is that a teacher I had whose name was Mr. Scher, I remember him coming to play the instruments in front of us. You know how they do that now? They play all the instruments and you're like, ooh, I want to play flute, or I want to play violin, or I want to play cello, right? So Mr. Scher came and he played so beautifully, and he was just funny, and right away I knew that I wanted to be one of his students. I can think of another really great friend whose name was Mark Newbanks. He was this little kid who was a year younger than me, and he played the cello, but he was so incredibly talented, and he really pushed me to be better and better. And even now, And throughout high school and college, we went to the same college, we went to the same music school, and all the way through, we pushed each other hard to be the best musicians that we could be. And now, even though he lives in London and I live here in the DC area, we still talk about our experiences we had together through elementary school strings, okay? I would not have had these kinds of bonds that I have with very special people who are still part of my life, all right? So I quickly kind of jotted those, but now I want to choose one of those to really zoom in on, okay? And when I write that piece, I'm going to put it inside my little folder for that point. Does that make sense to you? Yeah? So some of you might be in the place to give that a try, and some of you might not be. I know some of you really kind of need to do some research, right? But some of you might have an experience from your own life that relates to this. So ask yourself, what true story can I think of that relates to this? If that's going to help you continue your work, okay? We're going to try it out just with your writing partner pretty quickly. The idea, going on field trips is important in elementary school, is one that we feel strongly about because they are educational. Field trips help kids and teachers bond. It gives kids a chance to go somewhere they might never go with their families. Okay? I'd like for you to think about your experience with field trips in elementary school so far. It doesn't have to be this year, it can be from a time in the past. And think about each of these points. Choose one of them that you could tell a little story about that relates to one of these reasons. Okay? And you'll talk about that little story, tell that little story with your partner. What questions do you have? About what kinds of things? Like, what's one time that happened to you on a field trip?
The science exhibition. We mostly bonded. I really like Camp Cairo because we learned stuff that we learned last year.
It sounded like everybody had something to talk about. You had real experiences from your life that relate to that. And chances are, some of you will be ready to add that real, true story from your life into your topic and your piece of writing now. You might not be ready to do that today. You might be in a different place in your writing, and that's okay, because you can always use this down the road, okay? So today, when you go off to write, consider this, all right? And if you're in another place, go ahead and pick up where you left off.